Welcome to my channel History Coins HD. If you love discovering hidden treasures and learning about rare US coins, you're in the right place. In today's video, we'll reveal some of the most valuable coins that could be worth far more than you think. Stick around till the end, you won't want to miss what these rare gems are really worth. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel to enjoy more discoveries in future. Let's dive in. Top 1 today. We're diving into the fascinating world of rare coins to talk about one of the most sought-after pieces in American numismatics, the 1925 Buffalo nickel. This incredible 5-cent coin, featuring one of the most iconic designs in U.S. history, is more than just a piece of old currency. It's a symbol of America's frontier spirit and a coin that has captured the hearts of collectors for nearly a century now. What if I told you that some rare versions of this 1925 Buffalo nickel could be worth a staggering amount of money? Stay with me until the very end, because I'll reveal just how much this coin could be worth, and trust me, the number will leave you speechless. To understand why this coin is so valuable, let's first take a step back in time. The Buffalo nickel, also known as the Indian head nickel, was introduced in 1913 and was designed by renowned sculptor James Earl Fraser. The goal was to create a coin that truly represented the American West, and Fraser's design did just that. On the obverse, or front side, of the coin, you'll find the powerful and dignified profile of a Native American chief. Fraser combined the facial features of 3 different Native American leaders: Iron Tail of the Lakota Sioux, 2 Moons of the Cheyenne, and Big Tree of the Kiowa, to create this striking image. Above the portrait, you'll see the word Liberty, and just below the neck, the year 1925 is engraved. Turn the coin over, and you'll find the reverse side featuring the majestic American bison, also known as a buffalo. This powerful creature stands on a mound of dirt, its massive frame representing strength, resilience, and the untamed beauty of the American wilderness. The words United States of America arc over the top, while 5 cents is boldly displayed at the bottom. You'll also find the phrase E pluribus unum above the buffalo's back, reinforcing the unity of the nation. Now, you might be wondering, what makes the 1925 Buffalo nickel so special? The answer lies in its rarity and condition. The 1925 Buffalo nickel was struck during a time when the coin's design faced serious production issues. The raised details, while beautiful, were prone to excessive wear, making it difficult to find these coins in good condition today. The date, in particular, was one of the first areas to wear down, which means many 1925 nickels no longer display a clear date. Coins that have managed to survive in excellent condition, with sharp details and minimal wear, are extremely rare. Collectors are always on the hunt for Buffalo nickels with clear dates and fully struck details, making these coins incredibly valuable. But here's where things get even more interesting: minting errors. Some 1925 Buffalo nickels have been found with unique errors, such as double die outbursts, off-center strikes, or even missing details due to die wear. These error coins are highly prized because they are one-of-a-kind pieces that stand out from the rest. If you happen to have a 1925 Buffalo nickel with an error, its value could skyrocket. Another factor that determines the value of this coin is where it was minted. The 1925 Buffalo nickel was struck at 3 different U.S. mint facilities: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a small d on the reverse; and San Francisco, marked with an S. The 1925D and 1925S Buffalo nickels are significantly rarer than the Philadelphia versions, making them even more valuable. So, how do you know if your 1925 Buffalo nickel is worth a fortune? First, check if the date is still visible. If it's completely worn off, its value drops significantly. Next, inspect the coin's overall condition. A well-preserved, uncirculated Buffalo nickel with a clear date and sharp details can command high prices. Finally, if you suspect you have a rare error or a high-grade specimen, consider having it professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. Now, for the moment you've been waiting for: just how much can a rare 1925 Buffalo nickel be worth? Some of these extraordinary coins, especially those with rare mint errors or in near-perfect condition, have been sold for an astounding $95,000. That's right, imagine finding a simple 5-cent coin that turns out to be worth a small fortune. So, before you dismiss your old nickels as just pocket change, take a closer look. You never know, you might be holding onto a hidden treasure. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated on rare and valuable coins, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an exciting discovery. Top 2. We're talking about a true hidden gem in the world of numismatics, the rare 1934 Buffalo nickel. This 5-cent coin is not just a piece of old American currency, it represents an era, a piece of history, and for some lucky collectors, a small fortune. You might think of a nickel as just another common coin, but the 1934 Buffalo nickel is one that has caught the attention of collectors worldwide. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why. So, stick around until the very end, because I'll be revealing just how much this rare nickel could be worth, and trust me, you won't want to miss this number. Let's begin with the history behind this incredible coin. The Buffalo nickel, also known as the Indian head nickel, was first introduced in 1913 as a replacement for the Liberty head nickel. Designed by the famous sculptor James Earl Fraser, this coin was meant to capture the true spirit of the American frontier. On the obverse, or front side, of the coin, you'll see the proud and powerful profile of a Native American chief. Fraser actually combined the features of 3 different Native American leaders, Irontail, 2 Moons, and Big Tree, to create this striking design. Above the portrait, you'll see the word Liberty, and below the neck, the year 1934 is engraved. Now, turn the coin over to the reverse side, and you'll find one of the most iconic images in American coinage, a massive American bison, also known as a buffalo, standing on a mound of dirt. This animal is believed to have been modeled after Black Diamond, a famous bison from the Central Park Zoo in New York. Surrounding the image, you'll find the words United States of America at the top and 5 cents at the bottom. Just above the bison's back, you'll also see the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. Now, what makes the 1934 Buffalo nickel so special? Well, this was a coin struck during the Great Depression, a time of extreme financial hardship in the United States. Because money was scarce, people weren't hoarding coins like they would in other periods, and most nickels from this year were heavily circulated. That means finding one in top condition today is incredibly rare, but there's more. The 1934 Buffalo nickel was minted at 2 locations, Philadelphia, which has no mint mark, and Denver, marked with a small d on the reverse. The Denver version, in particular, is harder to find in high grades, making it extremely valuable to collectors. Condition is everything when it comes to this coin. Most 1934 Buffalo nickels show heavy wear because they were used in everyday transactions for years. Many have scratches, fading, and even complete loss of detail. But if you manage to find one in pristine condition, especially one with a sharp strike and minimal signs of circulation, its value skyrockets. Now, let's talk about minting errors. Some 1934 Buffalo nickels were struck with unusual mistakes that make them even more valuable. A few have been found with a doubled die obverse, where parts of the lettering and date appear slightly doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process. Others have misaligned dies, off-center strikes, or missing details caused by weak strikes. These errors make the coin one of a kind and drive up its value among collectors. So, how do you know if you have a rare 1934 Buffalo nickel? First, check for a clear and readable date. If the date has worn off, the coin loses much of its value. Next, inspect the coin's condition, look for sharp details, minimal wear, and a strong strike. And finally, if you think you have an error coin or a high-grade specimen, consider getting it professionally graded. A coin that is authenticated and given a high grade by PCGS or NGC can be worth an astonishing amount. Now, for the moment you've been waiting for. Just how much can a rare 1934 Buffalo nickel be worth? Some of these extraordinary coins, especially those with rare mint errors or in near-perfect condition, have been sold for an astounding $82,000. That's right, imagine having an old 5-cent coin that turns out to be worth a small fortune. So, before you overlook those old nickels in your collection, take a closer look. You might just be holding onto a hidden treasure. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated on rare and valuable coins, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an exciting discovery. Top 3. We're talking about a coin that has captured the fascination of collectors for decades, the rare 1936 Buffalo nickel. This incredible 5-cent piece is more than just a piece of currency. It's a snapshot of American history and a symbol of the country's resilience during one of its most challenging periods. You might be surprised to learn that some rare versions of this coin have sold for jaw-dropping amounts. So, stick around until the very end because I'll be revealing just how much one of these nickels could be worth today, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. Let's start by diving into the history of the Buffalo nickel, also known as the Indian head nickel. This iconic coin was first introduced in 1913 as part of an effort to redesign American coinage to be more artistic and representative of the nation's heritage. The U.S. Mint turned to the talented sculptor James Earl Fraser, who created a design that perfectly captured the rugged spirit of the American frontier. On the obverse, or front side, of the coin, you'll find the powerful profile of a Native American chief. Fraser's design was inspired by real Native American leaders, including Irontail, Two Moons, and Big Tree. This was one of the first U.S. coins to feature an indigenous figure in such a prominent way, making it a deeply symbolic and historic piece. Above the portrait, the word Liberty is engraved, while the year 1936 is displayed just below the chief's neck. And now, flipping the coin over to the reverse side, you'll see the majestic American bison standing on a raised mound. This powerful creature represents strength, resilience, and the untamed beauty of the American wilderness. The buffalo depicted on the coin is said to have been modeled after Black Diamond, a bison that lived in the Central Park Zoo in New York. Surrounding the image, you'll find the words United States of America and 5 cents. Just above the buffalo's back, the Latin phrase E pluribus unum is inscribed, meaning out of many, one. Now, what makes the 1936 buffalo nickel so special? Well, by the 1930s, the Great Depression was in full effect, and money was tight for most Americans. This meant that coins were used heavily in daily transactions, and few people set them aside in pristine condition. As a result, most 1936 buffalo nickels have significant wear and tear, making well-preserved versions incredibly rare and valuable today. The 1936 buffalo nickel was minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D on the reverse; and San Francisco, marked with an S. Of these, the 1936D and 1936S versions are much harder to find in top condition, which makes them highly desirable among collectors. But that's not all. Some of these nickels also have rare errors, which make them even more valuable. One of the most famous error versions of the 1936 buffalo nickel is the 3.5-leg buffalo variety. This occurred when the dies used to strike the coin were over-polished, accidentally removing part of the buffalo's front leg, giving it the appearance of having only 3.5 legs. This mistake turned an already beautiful coin into a collector's dream, making it one of the most sought-after error coins in U.S. history. Other minting errors, such as doubled die obverse, off-center strikes, and weak strikes, have also been found on 1936 buffalo nickels. These errors make each affected coin unique and significantly increase its value. So, how can you tell if you have a rare 1936 buffalo nickel? First, check the date to make sure it is still clearly visible. Many buffalo nickels suffered from excessive wear, and if the date has worn off completely, the value drops significantly. Next, inspect the overall condition of the coin. A buffalo nickel in uncirculated or mint-state condition, with sharp details and a clean surface, is worth much more than one that has been heavily circulated. If you suspect you have a high-value 1936 buffalo nickel, consider having it professionally graded by a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade can confirm the coin's authenticity and determine its true value, which could be much higher than you expect. And now, for the moment you've been waiting for, just how much can a rare 1936 buffalo nickel be worth? Some of these extraordinary coins, especially those with rare mint errors or in near-perfect condition, have been sold for an incredible $78,000. That's right, imagine having an old 5-cent coin that turns out to be worth a small fortune. So, before you overlook those old nickels in your collection, take a closer look. You never know, you might be holding onto a hidden treasure. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated on rare and valuable coins, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an exciting discovery. Top 4. Imagine holding a simple 5-cent coin in your hand, only to realize that it could be worth a small fortune. That's exactly the case with the rare 1935 buffalo nickel, a coin that carries not only historical significance but also an astonishing market value for collectors. If you've ever wondered whether an old nickel could be hiding in plain sight as a valuable piece of history, you're in for a treat. Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1935 buffalo nickel, one of the most sought-after coins in American numismatic history. From its beautiful design to its rarity and collector appeal, this is a coin that every collector dreams of owning. And by the end of this video, you'll know just how much this rare nickel could be worth today, so stay tuned until the very end. The buffalo nickel, officially known as the Indian head nickel, was first introduced in 1913 and remained in circulation until 1938. It was designed by the famous sculptor James Earl Fraser, who wanted to create a coin that truly reflected the American West. His masterpiece did just that, capturing the spirit of the frontier in a way that no other coin had before. On the obverse, or front side, of the 1935 Buffalo nickel, you'll see the powerful profile of a Native American chief. Fraser's design was inspired by several real-life Native American leaders, including Irontail, Two Moons, and Big Tree. This was a groundbreaking design for its time, as it paid tribute to the indigenous people of North America in a way that had never been done before on U.S. coinage. The word liberty is inscribed near the top, and just below the chief's neck, you'll find the year 1935. Now, flipping over to the reverse side, you'll find the image that gives this coin its famous nickname, the mighty American buffalo. This powerful creature stands atop a raised mound of earth, its strong posture symbolizing resilience and strength. The buffalo depicted on the coin is believed to have been modeled after Black Diamond, a real bison that lived in the Central Park Zoo in New York City. Surrounding the image are the words United States of America and 5 cents. You'll also find the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, which represents the unity of the nation. So, what makes the 1935 Buffalo nickel so special? First, let's talk about history. This coin was minted during the Great Depression, a time of economic struggle for millions of Americans. Money was scarce, and people used every last cent they had for daily transactions. Because of this, most of the Buffalo nickels from this era were heavily circulated, making well-preserved examples incredibly rare today. The 1935 Buffalo nickel was produced at 3 different U.S. mint locations: Philadelphia, with no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D on the reverse; and San Francisco, marked with an S. Among these, the 1935D and 1935S versions are much harder to find in high grades, making them particularly valuable to collectors. Another factor that makes the 1935 Buffalo nickel so desirable is the existence of rare minting errors. Some of these coins were struck with doubled dies, meaning the design appears slightly doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process. Others have off-center strikes, weak strikes, or even the famous 3.5-leg buffalo error, where the buffalo's front leg appears partially missing due to excessive polishing of the die. These unique errors make certain Buffalo nickels one of a kind, driving up their value even more. So, how can you tell if you have a rare 1935 Buffalo nickel? The first thing to check is the date. Many Buffalo nickels suffered from excessive wear, and if the date has been completely worn away, the value decreases significantly. Next, inspect the overall condition of the coin. Look for sharp details, minimal wear, and a strong strike. A coin that has been well preserved and stored properly over the years can fetch a much higher price in the collector's market. If you suspect you have a valuable 1935 Buffalo nickel, consider having it professionally graded by a trusted coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. A coin that receives a high grade can see its value skyrocket, especially if it is an error coin or an uncirculated specimen. And now, for the moment you've been waiting for, just how much can a rare 1935 Buffalo nickel be worth? Some of these extraordinary coins, especially those with rare mint errors or in near-perfect condition, have been sold for an astonishing $80,000. That's right, imagine having an old nickel in your collection, only to discover that it's worth a small fortune. So, before you overlook those old coins sitting in a jar or tucked away in a drawer, take a closer look. You never know, you might be holding onto a hidden treasure. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an exciting discovery. Top 5. We're diving into one of the most iconic coins in American history, the rare 1937 Buffalo nickel. This 5-cent piece may seem ordinary at first glance, but for those who know its secrets, it holds an incredible value. Stick around until the end, because we'll be revealing just how much this rare coin could be worth today, and trust me, you won't believe the number. The Buffalo nickel, officially known as the Indian head nickel, was first introduced in 1913 and remained in circulation until 1938. Designed by the legendary sculptor James O. Fraser, this coin was created as part of an effort to make American currency more artistic and symbolic of the nation's heritage. Fraser, who grew up on the Great Plains, wanted to capture the true essence of the American West in this design, and he certainly succeeded. On the obverse, or front side, of the 1937 Buffalo nickel, you'll see the profile of a Native American chief. This striking image was actually based on the features of 3 real-life Native American leaders: Irontail, Two Moons, and Big Tree, each of whom represented different tribes. The portrait is a powerful tribute to indigenous culture, making this one of the most historically significant designs in U.S. coinage. Near the top of the coin, you'll find the word Liberty, and just below the neck of the Native American, you'll see the year 1937 clearly stamped. Now, flipping over to the reverse side, we see what gives this coin its famous nickname, the majestic American buffalo. The buffalo, or bison, depicted on the coin was modeled after Black Diamond, a massive and powerful bison that lived in the Central Park Zoo in New York City. Standing proudly on a raised mound of earth, this design represents strength, resilience, and the untamed spirit of the American wilderness. Surrounding the image, you'll find the words United States of America and 5 cents, along with the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. So, what makes the 1937 Buffalo nickel so special? First, let's talk about history. By 1937, the Great Depression had gripped America for nearly a decade. Money was scarce, and every cent mattered. This meant that coins like the Buffalo nickel were heavily used in daily transactions, resulting in excessive wear and tear over time. Finding a well-preserved 1937 Buffalo nickel today is incredibly rare, and collectors are willing to pay big bucks for high-quality examples. The 1937 Buffalo nickel was minted at 3 different U.S. mint locations: Philadelphia, with no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D on the reverse; and San Francisco, marked with an S. Of these, the Denver and San Francisco versions are considered more valuable, especially in top condition, but the real magic happens when we talk about errors. One of the most famous and valuable mint errors in all of U.S. coinage history occurred on the 1937 Buffalo nickel, the legendary three-legged buffalo error. Due to excessive polishing of the coin dies at the Denver Mint, some 1937 D Buffalo nickels were struck with a missing front leg on the bison. Instead of 4 strong legs, these coins appear to show a 3-legged buffalo, making them incredibly unique and highly sought after by collectors. This error was quickly discovered, but not before a number of these flawed nickels made it into circulation. Today, the 1937 D 3-legged buffalo nickel is one of the most famous error coins in U.S. history and can command staggering prices at auctions. But even if your 1937 buffalo nickel doesn't have an error, it could still be worth a significant amount if it's in top condition. Coins that have been well preserved with sharp details and minimal wear can fetch a high price, especially those graded by professional grading services like PCGS or GC.so. How can you tell if you have a valuable 1937 Buffalo nickel? First, check the date to ensure it is still visible. Many Buffalo nickels suffered from excessive wear, and if the date has completely worn away, its value decreases significantly. Next, look for strong details in both the Native American's profile and the buffalo's features. If you suspect you have a rare 3-legged buffalo variety, closely inspect the buffalo's front legs. If one appears missing or partially missing, you could be in for a big payday. And now, for the moment you've been waiting for, just how much can a rare 1937 Buffalo nickel be worth? Some of these extraordinary coins, especially those with the 3-legged buffalo error or in near-perfect condition, have been sold for an astonishing $76,000. That's right, imagine finding an old nickel in your collection and realizing it's worth a small fortune. So, before you toss aside that jar of old coins, take a closer look. You never know, you might be holding onto a hidden treasure. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an exciting discovery.